Javon wouldn't have been brought up, period, at all. Nobody came at them because we didn't like them or anything like that. That wasn't the matter at hand. Father Chaos passed away. He was a mutual of all of us. We've all been in his panels before. He's been in our panels before. We knew him. We didn't like the fact that Genty was on live with his picture in the background and had his Cash App up for majority of that live, saying that he forgot, but it was up for majority of that live. That's what our friends spoke on. That's all they spoke on. Instead of addressing that specific issue, he went and said, y'all are saying all this to me, but sat and begged me to come and help you with the situation. We called on multiple people. That was a life or death situation. Y'all don't understand. People joking about it, people laughing about it. A person that we were all close to at one point. Gent used to call Javon his brother. Eb
No, Javon did not pass y'all. It
uncle.
was their friend Father Chaos.
Yes. Eb used to call Javon her nephew, all types of shit.
And finally, Bratz, damn.
We not gonna do this. The people that we were close to, we needed their help at the moment for a situation where we thought somebody that we love was gonna lose their life, literally. That's all it was. Jonty wasn't begged. He was asked to assist in a situation. Many people, we reached out to so many people that were in close proximity to Javon so we could get him out. That's literally it. That situation did not have to be brought up. It did not have to be thrown in his face or our faces because he didn't do nothing to help. He did nothing to help. Literally. That's the context that y'all are missing. That's why it started. Nobody came at him first or anything like that. He dragged Javon, Bratz, and the rest of us into it because he didn't want to keep his energy on what Kofi said. Nobody said he had to help, but when he was called into action, he said that he would help. Nobody forced him. It just ended up being that he didn't do nothing.
So what did Kofi say about him?
Kofi basically was live. He was playing music, and we had got word that Jonty was hosting a Pro Pally versus the Black Community Live, and that Chaos picture was in the background, and he basically was just like, this shit is sick, it's disgusting, and people are trying to profit off of Chaos's death and holding a conversation that we know Chaos would not agree with. That's literally all that was said.
Okay, thank you, Sade and Bratz, for bringing some context to it, because
I just woke up, so like, what's going on? Like, did anybody
stay up here because we got more questions? Don't move.
Yeah,
Sade and
I got
Bratz.
some questions for you guys because we were really confused about what was going on. So thank you guys very much for coming in and explaining.
To answer the question, Bratz, and thank you for coming in. I received a Cash App message asking if I was going to speak on the situation between you, Genty, and Javon. I asked the audience if they wanted to speak on it. They voted yes, and now we're here. So, as far as this fallout, whatever's going on, the bottom line, it just sounds like...
Asia, just 2 days ago, you was in a comment section on Messy Talk trying to talk to me, being up my motherfucking ass, bitch. Now you flip-flopping and you want to be on Jonty dick. Shut your dirty ass the fuck up. On my soul. Like, you a flip-flopping asshole. I'm not in the mood.
Oh, for the people who don't speak debate talk terms, pro-Pally, that means pro-Palestine. Bratz, can you tell us, just give us the full recap in your version, what happened from the beginning, from the Genty going live, doing the Cash App, all of that. What happened and what got us to this point, please? Thank you.
Basically, we were getting word that our mutual Father Chaos had passed. Everybody was just mad in their business. It was very shocking news. I pretty much had found out in the morning. I kept it to myself because I didn't see Chaos's closest mutuals speak out yet. And I just didn't want to be that person who broke the news before their closest friends found out, because I know that can be very traumatic. Then I ended up seeing Chaos' best friend live with the memorial live for them. So we went up in there. And just we're remembering chaos. After that live ended, Kofi was asked to go live and play some of Chaos's music because Kofi is a DJ. So we went over to we went over to Kofi's live where Kofi was playing Chaos's music. And we got word that his picture was in the background of Janti's live. Somebody went in there on a troll account to hear what the conversation was. And we heard the conversation was basically people talking about the Palestinian movement versus the pro-black movement. Now, we all knew that Chaos was pro-Palestine. Chaos will not agree with anybody going to McDonald's just because Kamala lost the election or calling Gaza a parking lot, anything of that nature. So it was very triggering for everybody who had just found out that Chaos just passed away a couple of hours ago for them to see Chaos picture in the background of a live like that.
It was within a few hours of their passing.
Of us finding out that they passed, yes. This live was held within a few hours of us finding out that they passed. Now people was coming to us, they said, Chaos picture was not up the whole time. It was, I guess, Jonty got word and decided to put Chaos picture in the background. But it was Chaos' closest friends who began espousing concerns about people having up their cash apps while giving sob stories about being cool with Chaos. And see, the story keep being twisted like it was me and my mutuals who was worried about that. But it was Chaos's closest friends who had something to say about that. And me and my mutuals just was like, yeah, you're right. It definitely look like that. It definitely gives profit off of somebody passing. That's just what that was. So everybody was upset. It is upsetting. After that, one of Chaos' closest mutuals reached out to Jonty and they were like, hey, it's triggering to see my friend's face in the background. They told him it's triggering for people who were not even close with Chaos to be having Chaos's pictures on their profile. Now, they were also in their live. It was a very, very small live where they had said some things about Jonty. They had also brought up the fact that Chaos had said that they were taking a step back from Jonty's platform and wasn't really liking how Jonty's platform was going. And so they felt like it was just...
Tell that cat quit being messy, please.
Chaos had taken a step back from Jonty's platform and just said they wasn't liking Jonty's platform no more and didn't want to be around it. So they was like, it's just weird for you to be doing this, and Chaos didn't even mess with you the way you're trying to make it seem like Chaos was messing with you. I just wish a lot of people in the comments would shut up talking to me and stop adding me. I need to focus. I just woke up. So after that, one of my mutuals said, I'm about to go live and I'm about to call Jonty out. And I was like, hey, there's no point in doing that. That anytime we speak on him, he just uses it as an opportunity to make more money and that it's going to turn into a bigger situation. They did it anyway. On their background was topics about how liberals are fascists and things like that. Basically comparing liberals to conservatives, etc., etc. And Jonty's face is in the background because Jonty had just held a live where he was talking about leftists and put their face in the background. So it was literally that. And Chaos' closest friends ended up coming up and giving their thoughts and opinions on Chaos's face being used and it not even being 12 hours since everybody had found out that Chaos had passed. And so when they brought that up, it just introduced a new vibe to the conversation. We then caught word that Jonty was live and Jonty was responding to the fact that they said that he went live without any permission and that he was collecting money on the Chaos situation. Now, Jonty is live. He got all these people coming up on his panel. AJ coming up there, screaming at the top of her lungs. This is debate talk, AJ, not y'all, AJ. Screaming at the top of her lungs, talking about some, Jonty is doing something. He's raising money that y'all didn't raise. Now, first the fuck off. Me and Sauce, Derek, Zodiac, We went live in the morning, did our regular debate. We got Chaos's GoFundMe in our link tree in our bio, and we have been pushing it all morning. I have no reason to sit around and try to clout chase or profit off of nobody's unalivement. When Chaos closest mutuals came to me, gave me the GoFundMe link and said, Bratz, can you do what you do? And I said, absolutely. Simple. It's very simple because Chaos used to be in my lives. So it's being positioned as if we're mad that Jonty raised money for a GoFundMe that was never in Jonty's bio. What are we talking about? 2 days after Chaos passed, we looking in Jonty's link tree or Binkus, whatever the fuck he got in his bio, and the GoFundMe is not there. I'm trying to figure out how did you promote somebody GoFundMe to help with their funeral arrangements, but it was never in your motherfucking bio. A lot of y'all gonna stop playing with me, because today is not the day. It was never in that man's bio. Not one time did we hear that man direct anybody towards a GoFundMe. He claimed that he raised money for it. He claimed that he donated money towards it. We looked on the website. We seen about $50 between him and his fiance put on the website for Chaos. Cool, fine, dandy. But don't make it seem like anybody is mad because you were mourning a friend, or anybody was mad because you was putting on a GoFundMe that you were not putting the fuck on. Chaos family had already raised $2,000 before the GoFundMe had came to me. By the end of that day, the GoFundMe was already cleared. The day that me and Sauce went live pushing the GoFundMe. By the end of that day, the GoFundMe was already cleared. Before Jonty ever mentioned a GoFundMe on his live, the GoFundMe was already cleared. So they trying to make it seem like, oh, Jonty just got the last $1,000 for the GoFundMe and da 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 da. No, the fuck he did not. That shit was already clear before he ever mentioned a GoFundMe out of his motherfucking lips. I'm sick of people trying to pull on the heartstrings of their supporters and guilt trip their supporters and make shit look like what it's not. And so when Jonty was getting confronted by Chaos's closest friends in regards to trying to profit off of his passing, he decided to say, oh, but y'all just called me to help Javon with his DV situation. He wanted to throw that up there because he can't take accountability. He don't know what accountability looks like. So instead of him taking accountability for what he was doing and how he was traumatizing Chaos's closest mutuals, he decided that what he wanted to do was put Javon's business out there and say, oh, Bratz was the main one begging me for help when Javon was missing. When the fuck did that happen? I'm trying to figure out, how did I beg somebody for help who got on the phone and said, I got negative $33 in my motherfucking bank
So,
account?
Bratz, I'm glad you said that because you've said a lot. There's a couple messy questions. Who had the negative $33? When did Javon go missing? And what happened with Javon's DV? And who's DVing Javon? Can you give us those?
Can't give you all that, and you know that. What I can,
Who has a negative $33?
the person who had negative $33 in their bank account was
Could you say their name?
Jonty.
Okay. Now, what
DJ
happened with
Soul
Javon?
Town
When did he go
AC,
missing?
BBL Drizzy DJ was on.
When did Javon go missing, girl?
Javon went missing about a month ago.
And y'all found him?
We got Javon to safety, and that's all that matters. We reached out to each and every person that we possibly could that we knew was close to where Javon was living, trying to get help because I live in the Chicagoland area. Javon is from New York. What the fuck can I do for Javon if Javon is missing? Not much.
That the police wouldn't even accept calls from anybody that was out of state. So I had to message one of our friends that we shared and see if she could call the precinct. Some of our other friends that lived in New York, lived close to New York, had to call the precinct near where he lived in order for them to actually take action in the situation. It was not Jonty sitting up here acting like he was special, like he was the only person that we asked. We was asking people that we no longer had relationships with just to get Javon to safety.
It was very simple. We went live. We did a private crowdfund. I was able to raise $750 in one night. The situation was very dire. The oldest people on that phone call were Eb and Jonty, and they provided absolutely no motherfucking help. So I don't know what made him run to the internet and say, oh, y'all was begging me to help when you couldn't do shit, because the first thing out of his mouth when he joined was, I have negative $33 in my bank account. How can I beg you for help with anything when you can't help your motherfucking self? Please, let's not go there and lie. So that's what was said. The most that John T did was say keep him updated throughout the situation. Our entire friend group sprang into action and everybody used their strengths in order to help Javon get to where he needed to be. So we had Ari Nicole doing the planning and we put her over the purchasing of Ubers and hotels, etc. I was going to use obviously my influence and my platform to raise the money that needed to be raised. I was also basically in charge of the communication between Javon because Javon was only able to speak during the middle of the night, and everybody knows I'm a bit of a night owl, so I'll be up. And then it was Sky responsibility once he reached where he reached to take it from there. And that's what it was. And that's how it was done. Nobody begged John T.
So are you and Eb not cool anymore?
No.
So y'all split the page?
You said what now?
Y'all split the page? What happened to the Eb and Brat's page?
The Eb and Brat's page was my account. The Eb and Brat's page. Yes, and the Bratz and Eb page was her account, so I changed the name back to Eb, and I left that page alone, and I changed my account to Bratty Bitch, and that's what it is.
Can I ask a question? I'm reading the chat, and they said your life was threatened through this. Somebody threatened your life?
John T threatened my life when we fell out months ago. He threatened my life because his cousin said that he was gonna put one in me and Ray because he allowed somebody to come on his panel and say that Ray was abusing her child, and we were all confused as to why he would allow somebody to do that, because when people come into our chats and come into our panels and say shit like that about him, they're immediately blocked. But he decided, for the views that he wasn't getting unless he was embarrassing his friends, he decided to allow that person to sit on his panel and say that about Ray. And so when Ray came up heated and going at him for allowing that to be said, everybody was looking at us crazy in the comments like, oh, this his platform, he can do what he want. That's fine and that's dandy, but it's like it's double standards, because if it was us, then it would have been a problem. We would have been opposites and we would have never been his friend and yada yada yada. So Ray was going in on him, and I came up there and I'm like, she not wrong, because let it have been us, yada yada yada. Then his cousin was in the comments talking about how he had put metal in us, put silver in us, woo woo, and we getting all these threats from him. And so we get off live, we get him on the phone.
When you say metal and silver, I noticed you didn't say lead, so could it be braces or something?
Nah. I don't feel like being gaslit.
Okay, I don't even know how to spell gaslit, okay? So I can't do it.
So, Brax, while I have your attention, and I apologize for laughing,
the cat has a full food bowl. The cat is whining because my boyfriend is getting ready for work.
All right, so you knew where I was going with this, because, the audience is on your ass about that cat.
Yeah. The cat is upset because my boyfriend went in the bathroom and closed the door, y'all. We just got to say, the cat is okay. The food bowl is full. She just used the bathroom. She just really liked my boyfriend. And so after that, John T ended up getting on the phone, and me and Ray basically said what it was. Like, if anybody felt like they was going to pull up on us and do anything to us, he just let the cat in the bathroom, y'all. And so his response was, then everybody going to die. That's what John T said on the phone to his so-called friends, that everybody was going to die.
Alive? You know the words to use.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Unalive. Listen, I just woke up. I'm sorry.
Pick it up.
Everybody was going to unalive, but it was me and Ray who were talking at the time, so we pretty much knew what that was. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So you threatening my life? And he like, oh, I'm sick of you. You think you big brats from Chicago who real tough? And I just started laughing at him. I'm just like, sir, that's what you think. Like, you think that ain't never came out my mouth now, like ever. Like, y'all might hear me say it now as a joke, like I'm big brats from Chicago who real tough, because I be making fun of him saying that. But like, that was just some goofy-ish. And so from that day forward, we haven't been cool. Now, I really was keeping it quiet. I wasn't really just going around telling people, oh my God, John T threatened me, da-da-da-da, because number one, I was in shock. And number two, I already knew what that was going to come with. It was just going to come with him gaslighting and manipulating his supporters, guilt tripping his supporters. Like, they're mad right now because I'm blocking anybody who be over there with him. You cannot say you support me and sit over with a man who threatened my life. I don't care how nobody feels about that. I'm getting called fake and all this other stuff because I'm blocking folk who want to sit in the space of a man who threatened my life. honey, if you feel that way, that's fine. I suggest you block me first, because I literally give no fucks. This is the situation. This is where it stems from. So in the middle of him being addressed about hosting this anti-black and anti-Palestinian live with Chaos Face in the background, he decided to bring up Javon's DV situation. He decided to bring me up talking about I begged him for anything. So we had to go from A to Z, because then he decided to get on live and say, who needs enemies when you have friends like these? And I thought it was real rich coming from a nigga like him. So I had to take it all the way back to the first time I met him and the day that I left him alone. So he can look in the mirror and ask himself that question. Who needs enemies when you have friends like these? Because the shit that he has done to the people around him, the people he called friends, I could never fuck with it. Are y'all going to make up again? Babe, we never made up. We communicated. I had the maturity that was necessary to try to get Javon to safety. That's the difference between me and other people.
Where are you getting Javon to safety from? I'm trying to pull the mess out of the story.
It's really not no mess or no kiki haha for me.
Nobody's kiki and ha. I'm just getting the mess. Who was
Y'all gotta
Javon
ask
getting away
Javon
from?
That's Javon's. That's if he want to go into detail about what he was getting away from. That's on him, but that situation, we really didn't even want to have to bring that situation to the internet in the first place. It was dragged to TikTok because he didn't want to keep his energy on the people it was necessary.
Okay, so they were wondering also, you told Ray's business apparently, because I guess you and Ray fell out. What business did you tell about Ray?
From A to Z. Sure did.
What were some of the key points?
The key points was she basically moved, got her life together just to fuck it all up. That she was not taking care of house and home, that her man left her and took her baby back to Massachusetts because she decided to cheat with the married man.
Ray was cheating on her husband with the married man?
Yes, correct.
Because Ray's married.
Yes, correct.
To the white man.
Yes, correct.
And she cheated on the white man with another person. Was that person white or black?
Asian.
So she cheated on her white husband with an Asian man. There we go. We're getting some mess. Not Ray the fixer, y'all. Ray the sorry, I'm trying to get the mess out of the story. Ray, the one who she be crying and stuff. On live. We got into it in the beginning when I first came around debate talk. Okay. Let me keep being messy downstairs, y'all. I'm gonna keep relaying these messages.
Yeah, so that did in fact happen. And the reason why her business was told is because she was supposed to be the person that Javon was with once he got to safety. And she decided to leave him hanging and block all of us everywhere because she's a weird ass bitch. And so we gave her that. And now she deleted
You guys,
the majority
I
of
just
her
got
TikToks.
the messages about Javon and all the details. Since they don't want to divulge it, I won't divulge it, but I will say this. When they say DV, I want you guys to know that does mean domestic. I'm assuming that it might mean in the house. It doesn't necessarily mean in a relationship with. So what I'm getting told is it's not necessarily a relationship DV situation. It might be something other, but I'm not going to go into too many details. But they did just send me all the details to my Instagram, okay? It's not about a relationship.
So let me help those out. So back in accountability court, I was told this was not the first time that it was mentioned that Genty spoke about whatever violence he was experiencing with his parents. So I don't know if that's a situation that continued and that's what they don't want to chime in on, but it was discussed in court before that he was experienced violence from his own father. So we've already heard about that. And so this,
You meant Javon, you said Genty. Right?
no, Genty allegedly said like he
that's
when
true.
they fell out. That's when the story came up that he threw it in his face that his dad tried to do stuff to him, like harm him. So it's not the first time we've heard about him being in a violent situation.
I personally don't mind to say what I've heard because I'm not going off the message that was just sent to me, but I heard this actually with my own earlobes on live. I heard that Genty said that he was going to STA, you know the last letter B, Javon like his daddy did. That's what I heard. Right. I heard they said Genty said he was going to do the same thing his daddy did to a child.
And so with him saying that to Javon, while we all was on the phone, he got on the phone and cried He said that he is sorry for the things that he said to Javon and about Javon on the live that day, considering the situation that he was in, that we needed help with, and that he does not deserve what he's going through. So for him, honestly, who needs enemies when Javon had a friend like you? Literally. Like Brett said, for you to make that statement out of everybody is absolutely insane, because you sat on that phone and you cried and you act like you cared, and then you threw it in everybody's face that you were asked to help. Sat on the phone, cried, and apologized and talked about how he did not deserve the things that he was going through and how good of a person he actually really is. Don't sit up here and act like you was just called and begged to help with a situation and you was just there. No.
I did get a Cash App message that said that Genty did promote the GoFundMe. So I guess we're being listened into on. They saying that the information you're providing is false truths.
And listen, they clearly didn't hear, because I made it clear that John T didn't mention a GoFundMe until the GoFundMe was already cleared. And John T didn't mention a GoFundMe until he was listening in to our lives and hearing us promote the GoFundMe, because nobody reached out to John T and gave John T the GoFundMe because Chaos did not like John T. I don't know how many times I have to say that. So while John T is going around telling people that the last $1,000 that was on the GoFundMe came from his life, that was a lie, because it was already cleared by the time that he even mentioned.
So where did that money go to then? So was the GoFundMe completely done and removed? Because at that point, then where did that $1,000 go?
No, the GoFundMe was not done or removed. Poppy is in the comments. That is their friend. Poppy just said it was 70% cleared by the time John T mentioned it. The family had already put $2,000 on the GoFundMe before me and Zodiac had even went live promoting the GoFundMe. The family was already throwing money on it. We're still promoting the GoFundMe to this day. The GoFundMe says it's done, and every time we go live, we are still promoting the GoFundMe even though it's done. He went live the day before the GoFundMe was even given to us, collecting money, claiming that was going to go towards funeral services. And then when we looked online, all we saw was between him and his wife $50 on there.
Wait. So he put the GoFundMe up before y'all did the day before?
No.
I thought you just said that.
No. The day
what
before. What
happened the day before? What was the day before?
John T went live with his pro-Palestinian live versus the black community. Nobody had any GoFundMe yet. He knew nothing of the GoFundMe. I had gotten word from his friends that once they got the GoFundMe, they were going to give it to me. He never said nothing about the GoFundMe in that first live. He put his picture up while he was still collecting his own Cash Apps. That day, after he got off live, he was reached out to by Chaos's closest friends, asking for him not to put his picture up, asking that people on his panel not have their picture, Chaos's picture, as their profile picture. And then he went back live the next day saying, he texted him and said, I'm going to do whatever I want to do. I'm going to keep hosting memorial lives about Chaos. He went back live the next day claiming that the money was going towards Chaos. So the same day that we put the GoFundMe up is the same day that he did. And he did that shit hours after us, after we was already knocking that shit out. That's what happened. It was not put up until the GoFundMe was already almost cleared. That's what I need people to understand. $1,000 did not come from John T Live. That is a lie.
Do we? Where did he say that at? Is it a clip of that or something? Why y'all keep getting on that cat?
Cat trying to be just
Bella, get off the cat.
I'm trying to focus.
That's all she think about is that.
They saying the kitty is calling cat.